Welcome back, Dogface Soldiers. You're listening to the 3rd Infantry Division Realism Gaming Podcast. Here with me tonight are my speakers. Well, starting down from me, it's Sergeant Danny Smiřický, your main speaker and host of this entire podcast. And with me here is my co-speaker. Please introduce yourself.
Precious Grigorov, your one and only favorite not Russian.
Yes, our favorite, the most hateful person, and the person most hated by the sea staff. Our man behind the rank is Staff Sergeant Jordan Duck. Please introduce yourself.
That's all there is to it, I think. Surely, platoon sergeant for 2nd Platoon Recon, loving life.
Some of you hate him, some of you like him. Depends on who you are. Oh, there's just a little bit something into that. And lastly, for the Soldier of the Quarter, as some of you may know from our most recent ceremony, well, please introduce yourself, whoever you are.
My name is Corporal Brayden Fitzgerald. I am in 2nd Platoon, 2nd Squad. I'm currently the assisted squad leader. I just kind of work here, I guess.
Congrats, you're being adopted to PAO. Okay, so introductions are now away. We can start with the podcast. So, it's been 3 months since, gentlemen, you either listened to this podcast or, well, none of you have been sitting here for a long time, or at least you've seen it. So, let's start with big promotions. This quarter, we had 2 important promotions. Let's start with the less important one. Sergeant First Class Marsh has...
I think you mean most important one because we all
No,
know.
we saved the most important for last.
No. Ricky, officers don't do anything, as we know.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh,
They're goddamn useless. Never mind.
Exactly.
So, our amazing cat person and cat emoji maker, Mama Tucci, has been promoted to captain. Some of you may know it, but some of you don't. So, if you ever see him again, tell him hello. And don't tell him that he's useless. He's amazing. He just likes to be a cat and just do his own stuff. Well, the more useful person and my more current favorite person is Staff Sergeant Marsh being promoted to Sergeant First Class. So, a little bit about something like this is these 2 gentlemen have been here in this unit for quite a while now and have obviously earned their billets that they're in. But I'll just throw something out there, gentlemen. If you see Sergeant First Class Marsh, try to, and I don't think he's gonna like me for this, but use up his name in a sentence, like replace positive and negative with Marsh and so on, just to mess around with him. That's my task for all of you listeners today from me.
As we all know, if you do that, you will get a Marsh medal or a medal.
But yeah, that's everything about any important billet changes of this quarter. And Specialist Grigorov, please start off something or anything if we have about demos availabilities.
Because we have a decent chunk of people at this point, we're more than just a chunk of change. As we might say, we're running out of demos positions. Currently, only RRO has open spots. They always do. If by any miracle you don't have a demos yet, better hurry up, because if you want to make it past E4, you need one. And plus, if you get a good one, you might not even be quote-unquote working while doing it. I mean, we aren't currently.
I would just like to state that PAO does not tell you to join a demos just so you have nothing to do, but get any benefits whatsoever. Definitely nothing like that happening. Corps of Engineering, for example, nothing, I mean. But yeah, it's kind of sad. We don't have any news about staff shops this quarter. All of demosses are in a constant perpetuum. It's the same as last year. No news, no whatsoever, and the demos availability got a little bit less since Public Affairs Office has now officially has closed all spots since we're currently full. So Corporal Nagy, Major Flash, in RRO, it's all on you to take new people. At least you cannot complain that we're stealing them from you. But let's move on to the next matter. We have some interesting unit news to be shared. Well, one specific. As some of you may know, a joint operation has happened approximately 2 weeks ago, 12 days to be exact, and it's been between us, 173rd Airborne Regiment, 2nd Ranger Battalion, and 15 Marine Expeditionary Unit. All these 4 units participated in a 24-hour non-stop joint operation that's been split into 8 time segments, each being 3 hours long, and it's all been hosted by none other than Lance Corporal Liru himself. It's been a wild operation. There has been a bit much problems at the beginning. It's been the first thing happening of operation of this size, so that's kind of understandable that there have been some bugs and maybe flies as well. But I have some stats to talk about. 3rd Infantry Division, that's right, us, has filled total of 141 slots in total for all 8 time segments. For those of you who participated, you probably know that you've been told to fill out a form document. And the average rating of this operation, how good it was 7 out of 10, which honestly is quite a good rating for this, well, for this event. And Lance Corporal Liru himself has rated it at 8 out of 10. Just one more statistics, 91.1% people filled out that Milsim units should sponsor another joint op. So, Major, if you're hearing this, that's a ball thrown at you into your court. I think people would like to see another joint op. Maybe around in December would be nice, since we have the holiday exodus, people have nothing to do. Maybe Vietnam, so we don't have to mess around with any mods. Any unit mods that would potentially break the servers.
To be fair, Ricky, after they fixed the servers, from what I saw, because some of us sleep and work on the weekends, the op went surprisingly well, and we kind of did too good, if that's a sense. Especially during our mission, even with all the crashes, we encountered little, if to no, difficulties. And from somebody who's been in a lot of Liru's ops, his ops can be challenging, to say the least. I mean, the fact that we had a striker survive the entire 3rd mission is testament to that.
All 3 of them.
Rockets were shot in it?
But yeah, that's definitely surprising. The most interesting thing, well, it all got fixed around our 2nd time slot, which was the 3rd Infantry Division focus mission. But, for example, time slot 5, which was a solely defensive mission with a little bit of counter-assault, that, let's just say that our flying elements of all 4 units combined did such an amazing job that Lance Corporal Liru has tried to shoot them down with and guided suicide drones with rockets, and yet he was not able to destroy any flying element that wasn't currently grounded on the spot. He wasn't, of course, happy with that, for some of you who've seen that stream, but let's just say, for all of you listening from 3rd AD and all the other 3 units, we kicked ass. We kicked ass so much that Liru just could not handle us. And it was goddamn amazing. I have a little bit something to say from Major Novix of the 2nd RB, and I'm gonna quote here: "The dedication for training in the weeks leading up to and including Operation, everybody crushed it. All the units had many motivated individuals that showed and performed. And everybody enjoyed the operation, and some were on for 24 hours. We would all love to do another." That's an official statement of the 2nd Ranger Battalion. But that's everything all for unit news. as there's barely anything during this time happening in the unit. We're just continuing our day-to-day operations as normal, and let's move on to the another topic. Soldier of the Quarter, hosted by Specialist Grigorov. Grig, hit it up.
As the only non-official NCO here, Corporal, you were chosen as Soldier of the Quarter. How do you feel about this great honor?
It's good. I'm happy. I've been kind of gunning for it for a while, so, but I didn't really have to like try too hard because I just was being myself and working within my DMOS and my squad position and was able to succeed. I know that I've been like recommended for it quite a lot. But just I didn't really let that go to my head, and I just kind of acted the way I was supposed to and did what I was supposed to do within my squad, and yeah, that's kind of it. I'm happy.
Well, happy you're happy. Jumping off in our official line of questioning, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live in northern Maine, so it's practically like a third world country. And I don't really get very much stuff to do out here besides just woods. I've been playing games since I was like 3, so I've always kind of been in this like environment of just playing games, like starting with Battlefield 2 and Day of Defeat and like Half-Life. I've never really been in any milsims before joining this, but I think I kind of transitioned pretty quickly because I've had over 4 years within the fire service, and I've also kind of grown up in like paramilitary mindsets, and with like my dad was military and with the fire department, so I kind of already knew how to adjust, and I knew how to fit in and get the camaraderie and not upset people, which is something that is hard for some people. But yeah, I just kind of enjoy playing games, and I enjoy hanging out with guys on the weekends and playing games with everybody. So
You mentioned just you're in the fire service. Want to tell me what you were doing on the 9th of June when my apartment building was on fire?
currently, I was actually playing a game with you, and I was telling you that maybe you should probably leave, but you informed me that you were so dedicated to what you were doing that you chose not to. I think we were playing SCP. It's like Secret Laboratory. So, I mean, odd choice of game to be dedicated to risk your life for, but I mean, you do you, boo, for sure.
Oh, it was an Arma op, and me and you almost died to an RPG.
True.
But that being said, our dedication to the third. Why did you already mentioned why you joined this? You hadn't had any military experience, but what's keeping you here?
So I'm gonna kind of expose somebody, but like Specialist Alter didn't really tell me what I was getting into. I just kind of like he kind of forced me to join. Literally told me nothing. I was a bad recruit. I didn't read the NSO guide or really like any of the information I was supposed to. And I did my OSIT, and I was kind of annoyed at first because I was like, oh man, like people's internet egos and stuff like that. But it got to the end portion of it when I actually saw like the cherry trees and the actual like Soldier of the Quarter wall, and them going over the Medal of Honor recipients and stuff like that, and seeing the history and how they actually uphold it. I didn't realize that the 3rd Infantry Division was like a real thing within the Army and in real life. I didn't know that. So the upholding of history kind of piqued my interest, especially like within the fire service. History is kind of like the backbone of everything. It's something that I take really high pride in, and I try to uphold it the best that I can. And when I joined in, I kind of was shocked by how laid back, but also like semi-serious and enjoyable everybody was. Especially with my leadership at the time, they allowed me to kind of grow and develop and motivate me and push me to do things that I enjoy doing. And I just kind of enjoy hanging out with a small group of guys and playing Arma and doing stuff in a kind of being a small cog in the wheel and kind of managing people as well. Especially as taking over as assistant squad leader, I've been able to do that like master manipulation stuff, being able to manipulate the squad how I want, and acting and taking on a harder task and challenging myself even more. And I think that kind of keeps me coming back to it. And I meet a lot of interesting people around the world that I didn't know. I mean, I didn't really care about anything about England or the UK because frankly, like we kicked them out of our country, so I didn't really care for them. But now I like them and I want to go there, and but they can't come back here. But yeah, that's what keeps me here.
Yeah. Set it up to the staff sergeant right
Defending the
appropriately.
East
You're
Coast.
not entering this glorious
Hey,
country.
300 years, 300 years.
That was
Sam.
one hell of a broadside. Do you wanna thank the French for helping you in that last statement, Corporal?
Well,
Oh, that's
specifically,
interesting.
where with my group of people that lived here, we contributed by being malnourished and so small that the British couldn't shoot us, and we burnt down their forests and boats. And the French didn't really help us out because they didn't like messing with the Canadians at the time. So
You heard
I mean,
it here
down
first.
south they did, but not here.
You heard it here first. The Corporal was small and malnourished. With that said, in your official post made by our amazing major, you mentioned one of your favorite, funny, or memorable moments in the unit, and it's a very official engagement combat moment. I want you to share with us one of the moments that make you think back on why you spend so many hours talking with us.
Like, could you reiterate the question? Because I have a few things that kind of pop into my mind that you got to kind of like narrow it down for me.
Wow, that's a lot of things. Favorite third AD moment that isn't connected to you shooting people?
Wait,
So-
you didn't...
So I didn't have the choice to do the warrior leadership course. I was forced into it.
Like
by my
all of us.
platoon.
Welcome to the club.
Run
My
away.
platoon leadership. I was a lonely specialist at the time, just minding my own business, and I was forced into it. And I was like, oh, I can't mess this up. I can't mess this up. I put way too much effort into it. But the more people I kept asking about advice because I wanted to know more about the leadership course, everybody told me that the worst but best part is when everyone has to read the NSO creed at the very end, because it's just like 15, 16 people on TeamSpeak in different time zones with different internet connections trying to say something in unison. And even the major said himself that it was like, this is going to be really bad, but just bear with me. And I think I got through like the second sentence of the Ranger or the NCO creed, and I couldn't breathe. I was wheezing so hard with everybody trying to say the NCO creed. I couldn't handle it. It was so funny. And I think about that all the time, and anytime that I hear anyone mention that or I read it when I'm doing like an NSO or something like that, I think back to that and it always makes me smile because it was just god awful, but it was funny.
So that's why I have repressed memory of the warrior leadership course. Thank you, Corporal.
Yes.
I can tell you for a fact that is a unit-wide tradition that forges our NCOs in battle that has been upheld since at least 2017.
Absolutely.
Man, what a long tradition.
That's when I first experienced it. Okay, well, we learned why you're here, and for anybody that wants to know your most important army value, they can look at the post by Major. Could you tell me the most important army value that you want to see in others?
Definitely integrity. I will die on this hill. I don't, especially like when I joined the fire service, I was 16 and I got pretty kind of heavily bullied quite a lot. Like the older guys just don't really like young kids. And they're not very truthful and they're very disrespectful towards you. And within the unit, there's a lot of people that like, I'm not saying that they're bullies or anything like that, but like I feel there's a lot of people that could have integrity, like especially new recruits. they say they're going to be there, they say they're going to do this, they say they're going to do that, and sometimes they don't. And that's just life. I think that integrity can go all the way around. I think that's something that everybody needs. Doing the right thing when no one's looking is insanely important, especially with DMOS work. RRO, I'm going to do a little plug-in, is you do it all by yourself. You're not really kind of being watched, and so you can say things or do things that can get you in trouble or make people not want to join the unit. But you got to do the right stuff, especially within like Fig. When we do trainings and stuff like that, you can either just go by the book and do the bare minimum and silently quit, I guess, or you have no leadership watching over you. You are the leadership, so you have to make sure that your recruits or your students underneath you are actually learning stuff and making sure that the course material is working for them. I think that could be a skill and a value that everyone can probably work on a little bit more, because at the end of the day, integrity is something that you're never going to be perfect at, and you always got to kind of work on it. But that's just kind of me.
Oh, there you go, Fig. Corporal calling you out. Make sure you make the course interesting to your new recruits and tell a story or two, especially during your long, boring segments like vehicles. Speaking of higher positions and leadership.
Before we get that, I have a question over here for the corporal. You yourself said multiple times that you're in the fire service, and you live in an unspecified location that's in the United States, but it's much closer to the Canada. So, I have a question. What did your father's father do on a certain event that was on the August 24th of 1814?
Hold on, I gotta, before I open my mouth, what was the date again?
August 24th, 1814. What did you do, and why didn't you stop it? Maybe
So-
are you perhaps a filthy traitor to this glorious country?
So I just want to point out there, current okay, I can make this really not PG for this podcast, but currently with my demographic of area, we were doing like logging and people transport. We were getting in the transport industry, as you could say, and we created large like river systems and that we would do log drives. And if you don't know what Aroostook County or Allagash log drives are, I would recommend looking it up because it's a stupid thing that's horrifically dangerous, but that's how they did it.
So you're the person that transported the Canadian army to the Washington so they could burn it down? I knew it. You're a traitor to the motherland. I mean, sorry, what?
So they actually didn't get in through Maine. They actually transitioned down south right through the state of Vermont, because there's currently a large river that separates Maine, that from like kind of the rest of the states, and there's a large amount of wilderness that's uninhabitable, and there's no roads there. So the Canadians couldn't go through it because they're lazy and don't like hiking. So they went through the easy area and went through upstate New York and upstate Vermont. So we were completely oblivious to it because we were too busy doing log drives and transporting people. So
Well, you heard it here, folks. New York citizens, you are to blame for the burning of the White House.
absolutely.
Sponsored by the Corporal. This message was brought to you by. With that out of the way, thank you, Sergeant. Now we know who the real traitor is.
I know. Yeah, comrade. What?
That works. Where do you see yourself peaking in the unit?
So
And what is gonna make you go to that?
I'm gonna kind of throw Duck under the bus, but I said earlier about like leadership, like manipulation, like learning how to manipulate your squad, not in a bad way, but like learning how to manage them. And sometimes telling a little white lie or not saying anything at all usually works. I told Duck right in the beginning of this unit that I wanted to get into FIC. That was like the first thing that I told him, and I wanted to be as useful as possible, and I want to get the rank of corporal. And he never said anything to me about it at all. He's like, "Oh, okay, that's perfect." And I went through all the promotions. I tried super hard. I got up to specialist, and then Duck went, "Well, you're capped now, shithead." And I went, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you can't get corporal unless you get as like a squad leader position. And I'm like, what? Like there's nothing. So I went through like a 4.5 month or like 6 month period of just absolute like tyranny and just like depression of like, how do I get corporal? They don't hand it out enough.
Damn, what a
But
way to get bamboos. Amazing work, Staff Sergeant.
yeah.
Good job.
We
So
call that a good old retention trick.
exactly. So honestly, I am really happy. I had the opportunity to take over a squad leader position and two squads, and I turned them down. I don't really like being the lone leader. I like working with another leader. So I enjoy working with Duck. I think that we have good mindsets and we work well together. So I don't really want to move. I'm happy with where I'm at. When it comes to rank, I really only want I like the rank of corporal, and I would be perfectly fine just staying here and never going to promotion board and staying at this rank. But unfortunately, I want to move up in Fig. I absolutely love doing anything with Fig. I know that makes me sound like an idiot, but I enjoy it. It's my favorite DMOS, and I want to move up. And I'm currently at a DI position, but I want to get up to drill sergeant, and I will do whatever I have to do that. So I'm gonna take the L and get promoted to sergeant. So hopefully I get promoted to sergeant so that I can move up in my DMOS. But then after that, I'm kind of coasting. I just want to keep working on my squad and making my squad as combat effective as possible, and getting the retention up in my squad, and hopefully within the unit higher. And that's kind of my goals.
Again, shots fired at Fig, and since you're going for those drill sergeant spots, I guess Fig should watch themselves.
Bro,
Now let me unwrap
Oh,
that,
I just
because
wanna
don't
say-
want to just slam a 9mm in my desk.
I just want to say, Corporal, see you on the promotion board.
yeah, bro, I'm kind of nervous.
Oh, it's gonna be better. It's not as hard as Corporal board since you already know what to expect.
Yeah,
Just
the
need to
corporal one
study
I
a
did,
bit.
I was sweating. I couldn't sleep the night before, especially when I got the results. I was like, oh, when I did promotion board, I was like, oh, so when do I know about my rank? And Duck went, you don't. And I'm like, oh, I was like, I couldn't sleep at night. I was panicking. I was like, dude, I gotta find out if I failed or not.
Well,
Man,
moving on to
you're
our last
innocent.
official question. If you could ingrain one skill into every single person in the unit, what would it be?
Oh, bro, there's a few. I could say some stuff that would definitely call out some people, but I don't really want to do that. Honestly, actually, never mind. Truthfulness. I think that people should be more truthful, and that can. I don't mean character. I mean I don't really care who you are. I mean I care who you are, but like I don't need to know every single thing about your life. I guess that doesn't really affect how you play games. But like if I tell you to do something and I ask you, do you know what I'm talking about? Tell me whether or not you do or don't know what I'm talking about. Um, and if I ask you, hey, you died or you got some other people killed, or you maybe threw a frag grenade at me on accident, um, and I ask you, did that happen? Tell the truth entirely. Like, I don't care. If you tell the truth, it is what it is. We'll work with it. But when you lie about it, or you're not truthful to yourself in your capabilities, you're just gonna kind of fail in the unit. But it's very few and far between. But that's just one of those things. The loose lips sink ships. And if you lie and you're like a rat kind of, you end up not really going too far, and you end up having people hate you, or you get everyone in your squad killed. So
That's a very fair assessment. Before I move on to my non-scripted questions, would my co-host like to say anything?
Oh, I've already said mine. But, Corporal, watch out what you're gonna say now next.
oh, I know.
Otherwise, Comrade Grigorovich, Commissar of the 3rd Arms Rifle Brigade, are gonna take care of you.
Nah, bro, I'll see you on the top of a hill from like 3 miles away, and I'll just leave. You don't know how to do land nav.
Oh, really?
Shots fired! Shots
Those are
fired!
some fighting words. But
Question
ignoring
is,
that,
are you willing to die on that hill?
So, starting off with my first question that I need to know about everybody so I can know if we can be friends. What's your favorite type of cheese?
Ooh. Oh. Honestly, I like taking provolone and pepper jack and mixing them together. I love those two equally.
Okay. You pass for now.
You sound a bit
Thank you.
disappointed there, specialist.
I do. I was hoping for him to say something awful like cheddar sauce, which isn't even a cheese.
I don't even know what that is, so
You
we're
don't
good.
want to know. Then, second to last. Favorite country song? You're American.
Favorite country song. Okay, so first off, I don't really listen to country. I gotta check my playlist really quickly. So it's called Back Home Again from John Denver. And anybody that says that that's not actual country, go bang your forehead on a wall. Because I don't like pop country. I like actual stuff, like old country.
I'm
Not like
sorry, but
folktale
Cash
stuff,
is
but-
obviously superior.
Well, obviously true, but like I don't know. Some people. I mean, that is the guy that literally fought an ostrich and survived. But
Fair
I,
enough.
I don't know. I just like John Denver.
On
I
the
think
list
that
of
he got a-
animals to have fought and survived, I think ostrich isn't necessarily up there in bragging rights.
Oh,
I don't
you
know.
haven't fought an ostrich if you're saying that.
Which
Johnny Cash
But,
got
like,
messed
compared
up
to, like,
pretty
you
bad.
know, a bear.
Well,
Oh,
look,
here we
not everybody
go.
can
Right.
fight
Man
in
versus
wrestle bear.
bear.
Not everybody can fight in wrestle bear. Not point of talk. But okay.
I have a question
last-
over here, if I could, specialist. Would
sure,
you rather fight horse-sized geese or 20 geese-sized horses? And why? And how would you fight them?
So I'm not gonna lie. I have
Also,
been-
statement: the goose is the Canadian one.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I was gonna ask you, is it Canadian or not? I'm not gonna lie. They have absolutely no care to give. They are the most ruthless animals, and they will ruin your day for no reason. I would. I don't know. Either way, it's kind of a death sentence. I think I would take option 2, because like a horse-sized Canadian goose, I'm dead. I'm entirely dead. But
No offense to you, Corporal, but a horse-sized Canadian goose will take over the United States.
100%, 100%.
All right.
And my last question. If you weren't born American, just you were not born in America, what country would you have preferred to be born in? You cannot pick Canada.
Bro, I was gonna say, bro. Anyways, you're really back me in a corner now. I don't know. I think. See, this is my thing. Like, there's not really many countries that like. I think I would go to the UK because they collectively hate their government altogether, and there's not really much like fighting about it. And I would don't want to bully e-scooter people, but I think I would probably move to Germany because you have rich. Okay, I can't really say rich history.
Man,
history.
that's a
There's history.
Big
It's
gap in
history.
history from 1938 to 1945.
nothing
actually.
happened.
in that
Nothing-
period in
nothing happened.
between.
They had an extended French holiday.
I think I would go to Germany because you're right in the middle of all these like European countries, and the drinking age is lower, and the education's substantially better. and
Corporal,
that's
do you
kinda where I'd
like
go.
guns?
I do.
Then why are you choosing Germany?
I don't like guns enough to over obsess about it. I am fine with not having.
They
a gun.
allow zero fucking ownership.
Yeah,
those
I'm
guys-
perfectly fine with not having a gun.
Let's just say that you're obviously clinically insane for wanting to be in Germany. Oh, the Germans Frost, Cooper are gonna tell you that you're insane, and I'm supporting them.
Well, the reason why I would want to live there is because I can go to all these other different countries easily. I wouldn't just
Can
be
come
able
to
to
Czech
stay
Republic, comrade.
Yeah, don't go. But
there.
No,
I was
no,
gonna
no,
say I
you
might
do.
get robbed, but anyways.
Yeah. Well, that was a very solid pick for Germany. While it has its problems, I am very glad that you picked Europe. You are one step closer to recognizing the superior continent. With that,
Yeah.
I am finished, and I would like to hand it back off to the sergeant.
Well, thank you, Specialist, Corporal. Well, Corporal, before we move on away from you, I would just like to state that congratulations on receiving Soldier of the Quarter. And cheers to you. For those of
Thank
you who
you.
cannot see me, I'm currently raising a pint. And I would just like to say cheers to you, our little innocent shining star.
Thank you.
And let's move on to the another topic. Man behind the rank. Staff Sergeant Dunk, it's time to take you on a rodeo. Are you
Too
ready?
excited. Yep. Go for it.
Okay, so I would like to ask, what's your favorite food?
Favorite food, as all good British people should say.
First,
is
beef.
Indian style curry.
Okay, good. I was just about to say, if you said anything for beans, I would have the specialist shoot you behind a barn.
Nah, bro, I would have had to do that for you. I'm sorry, though, because if you would have said beans and toast, especially when it's cold
Plain,
from the tin.
Cold Heinz baked
I
beans.
stop.
Nothing better than a half-frozen can that you need to chisel at while you're camping.
Yeah, we would have had to bring back the Commissar Grigorovich.
You guys are joking, but when I go out camping in the woods twice a year, and like doing other stuff in the woods,
Chasing women.
beans, like bean and sausage canned meals, is one of my favorite things to sustain me while I'm doing.
Yeah, man,
Well,
the little like Vienna
oh.
sausage things with them as well.
Corporal
Sergeant,
Fitzgerald,
what did you
do you
say?
have perhaps a pistol? Are you armed, Corporal?
I do. Yes. I
Okay,
am.
congrats. You just became my new commissar.
Yeah, bro.
Are you
I don't know,
sure?
man. I'm kind of in a hot topic about firearms right now, as of currently due to recent events. So I probably should.
Don't worry, I don't want you to shoot any president or anything. Just the citizens.
Just the citizens. Yeah,
But
bro, I
yeah,
hate
let's move
people.
away from this topic due to the recent events. So, Staff Sergeant. Oh, a little bit more unit-centric question. What's your favorite aspect of the unit? Or, what do you like about us? Why haven't you left this lunatic bin?
Well, actually, it's easily the people, for sure. There's nothing that Arma is a unique platform to provide other than the ability to have those kind of really special moments with people. I suppose the better answer is that I'm just too lazy to do airsoft.
So you're saying is that you're not here for the gameplay and you lazy bum.
He's here to because of
Right,
people.
just-
He's like he feels like an extrovert. We don't want these kinds of people here. We don't
don't
want your
understand the-
kind here.
I don't understand the overly fascination between airsoft. Just like go shoot at people normally. I mean, that's just like the pinnacle of the United States right now.
It fits.
What?
It's no.
Airsoft, first of all, fits no. Second
No.
of all, airsoft is a different type of feeling than shooting other people.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. I love showing off my internet chest candy rack to like all the hot women, but like to be honest,
And how many
like,
have you gotten?
how do you zero? But how do you like make people call you rank in airsoft? I mean, like in a video game, it's easy
You
because they
don't.
can't see you. But like,
No, wait, you're misunderstanding. If you're doing like Milsim airsoft, that's anything but two two big forces organized in a semi-cohesive way where you go and do stuff together. Like if you're doing the whole Milsim rank thing in Airsoft, you're cringe as fuck.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you go to a Milsim airsoft in like anywheres in the United States, in my opinion, and this is a hot topic, but collectively, every single person there, if you put them all together, they all have two brain cells that are fighting over who gets to be third.
Yep. I
So-
can agree on that. But we've kind of hijacked the topic, so
Oh yeah, my bad.
So, the people it is. Anything else?
No, that's it really. That's the main focus for me, is just having a good time with the boys.
Okay, that's good. Well, when's your birthday? And how old will you be?
What's your
Let's
social security
DDoS
number?
you a little bit. Also, tell me the number on your credit card,
was
the
gonna say,
3
yeah.
digits on the back, and the expiration date. It's, for the donation for the unit. Major needs to go to Hawaii, like, ASAP.
Birthday is the 1st of January. And I
Man, that's
Hold on, let me
unfortunate.
do I know, yeah, no Christmas.
Yeah, bro. I feel that January 4th over here, bro. I got a loaf of bread for Christmas.
And that would make me, if I can do the math, 22? Probably.
Ooh,
Let's go with
so-
that.
Ooh, alright.
I am always surprised at how young everybody fucking
I know,
is.
right?
Factual.
Shut the fuck up, Fitz.
Bro, I'm reminded about it every day. I look like I'm
Absolute
12.
iPad baby, bro. You got Subway Surfers on right now, haven't you?
No, he's
Please-
playing
I
Cookie
don't have the
Cooker.
attention span to sit through this song.
Let's not talk about age too much because I'm 23 and I just took out a 30,000 euro loan today for my apartment. Please.
Jeez Louise, bro.
Hey, Greg, what month have you been born?
February?
Fuck, you're older by like 5 months.
I'm sorry, but just judging by voice, your balls haven't even dropped yet.
No, I don't have balls. They cut them off when I was born. They, wanted to, cut off my
No.
cape, and
Balls
they
are for
missed.
losers. I'll never lose my virginity, bro. I never lose.
Moving on back to the...
Let's move on.
Why is the specialist wrangling in the 3 NCOs? Why am I doing this?
Because we chose you as the straight man here.
Oh, you got
Am
that
I
very
right,
straight.
Fitz?
Very, very truthful. Very truthful.
Homoeroticism between the boys has never hurt anyone. Yet.
So, continue with your line of
On to
questioning,
the next
Sergeant.
question. Do you have any pets?
I do.
And
I have one dog.
You just activated my trap card, Staff Sergeant. We have this thing called pet tags in this unit. Whenever you're talking with me and you mention your pet, you need to post a picture of them into the pets and animals. For those of you who are listening to this podcast, I'm gonna include that picture on the podcast. That is if the Staff Sergeant sends it.
He's going to. He's going
Of
to.
course.
Good, thank you. But yeah, while we're doing that, what do you currently do for a living?
So at the moment, I'm about to start studying for a PhD program. So
What do
right
you
at
study?
this second, I'm doing absolutely nothing with my life while
Yeah,
I wait for
it's
this,
summer holiday,
university
right?
That's
start
not
back
true,
up.
bro. You're commanding an Arma unit, bro.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah, what do you study? PhD, yeah, that doesn't say much.
I studied theoretical physics for my master's, and my PhD is going to be in topological condensed matter physics.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah, bro. I was
What
gonna call you a
20
nerd, but I don't even know if that's those are too many people. Big boy words.
What is
Exact-
22 and already have a master's? What the? You're not 22 if you have a master's.
I am.
When the fuck did you start working on masters? 5 years ago when you were 16.
Bro, he's literally young Sheldon. Like, prove me wrong.
Yeah, apparently.
Staff Sergeant, I need you to send me your picture. Yeah, your face picture. So I can Photoshop it on Sheldon. Moving on. what other hobbies do you have except gaming? You mentioned airsoft, so do you have any airsoft guns or anything
No,
else?
so my main hobby is scuba diving. So at the moment, I'm actually enrolled in a dive master qualification, which means that once I'm done with that, I will be able to be qualified to take people out scuba diving who are not who have never done it before. So that's quite exciting because it means that whenever I plan dive trips with friends that haven't gone before, I can take them around different places in swimming pools and stuff.
So, would you be up for this unit making a diving course?
I could definitely see setting up a scuba diving club for the unit. Yeah.
I mean, like another qualification for the people to learn.
Oh, I would love to get combat diving in, but I feel like that's getting deep into special forces territory that we're not
We
going to
have
be.
rangers. It's fine.
We have a lot of special people in this unit, so it just
You're
works out.
so right.
Yeah, definitely. We have 3 of them in this channel.
But I could absolutely.
You're the fourth one.
Hey, bro, you're lucky I don't know how to count.
I'd absolutely be happy to help out with sorting a combat diver school. That would be very fun.
You heard it here, Major. Get it done.
Okay, so what sort of music do you listen to?
So the music I listen to is quite eclectic and genre. I listen to a lot of jazz at the moment, mainly saxophone-based jazz, but also a lot of heavy metal.
So, for example, the Halo ODST OST, the theme song for
Absolutely.
Halo ODST. That's
Absolute
amazing.
banger.
But yeah, that's interesting. That's honestly, that's well. Oh, I have to fucking help myself now to
Bro,
see how
he's-
much you know about it.
He's blasting classical jazz while we're all like screaming over the radio for him. Like,
Okay,
it's a chronic
that's
problem.
amazing. I think I'm gonna start doing that in Scorpions. But yeah, moving on. Do you have any siblings, or are you alone?
I'm an only child, so it cancels out with a single Christmas.
Fair enough. So, what's something? What's your biggest pet peeve in real life or in this unit?
I think my biggest pet peeve, um, it's doubly annoying because I can understand the need for it and the usage for it, which means that I can't complain about it violently at every opportunity, which makes it more annoying. But kind of a great deal of red tape and health and safety stuff is just, it frustrates me deeply, and I can't do anything about it because I know that it's necessary. So
Just
I
be
think
like the
that's,
specialist over here and complain about it anyway.
Oh, I thought you were going to say flagrantly disregard it, but
No, I wouldn't do that. Not yet, at least. Not openly on the podcast. I cannot say that. But yeah. Well, what's something on your bucket list? Like, is it related, for example, something to diving? Would you like to see the Mariana Trench or something?
yeah, I think actually my bucket list at the moment is going to be getting my full cave diving certification, so then I can dive in. There's very specific cave formations in Florida called, I think it's cenotes. You'll probably be able to put a picture up on the thing, but they're absolutely beautiful.
You're gonna have to send me one.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're absolutely beautiful, and I look forward to that immensely.
Alright. Don't know what you're fucking talking about. I fucking don't know, but the viewers will probably see and probably take a guess what was that. But tell us, any favorite movies, any genres? Tell us what do you like about movies? Which ones you like, what genres you prefer?
Yeah, so I haven't watched many movies in recent times, but my favorite movie of all time, definitely without question, is The Green Mile.
Ooh.
Based.
That's-
Solid pick.
Such a emotional movie. It's one of the only movies which consistently makes me cry at the end. And I think that anything that's got that much kind of power in it is something to be treasured.
Alright. Any specific genres while we're at it? Do you enjoy perhaps more of a realistic movies based on the military, or for example fantasy or sci-fi?
Yeah, I guess I like history, military history movies as well, or Kind of like the classics, like Full Metal Jacket, right? Just good movies, old movies.
All right. And what's an embarrassing story that happened to you in real life or in this unit?
I've been looking at this one ever since you sent me that question, and I couldn't really find a good satisfactory answer to it, to be honest, because I generally tend to not get embarrassed that much. I'm very difficult to
Fair enough.
yeah.
Don't
very
worry. Don't
difficult to get
worry.
embarrassed.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. As soon as our D&D game starts, Duck,
Oh
you get a
god.
couple.
Oh
Yeah, bro.
god.
I'm not gonna lie. I've tried for over a year to like do anything to embarrass him or like crack at him, make fun of him or something, and it does not work, and it somehow always gets directed towards me.
Listen, you haven't seen what Specialist Grigorov over here prepared for his D&D sessions.
Well, I'm not our leader this time. It's a friend of mine. Shout out to Ryan Lang, my buddy from a while ago. He'll be leading us this time, but don't worry, Duck. My over 10 years of experience will get you embarrassed.
Good, good, as it should be done. Okay, and last question of the mandated questions. What is your proudest achievement you have ever undertaken or succeeded to this day?
So I think my proudest achievement is in real life. It's going to be my masters, definitely. But that's pretty much a cop-out answer. So to give it a more kind of interesting spin, I would say my proudest achievement in the unit is the kind of culture and atmosphere which I've managed to cultivate for Second Platoon. Particularly my squad, I think everybody has a really healthy attitude towards personal growth, and I am really happy to see where everybody's at and see where they can elevate themselves to in the future using it.
Okay,
You heard them. You heard them, Second Platoon.
so Second Platoon, blame him for everything. He says that he created everything. It's all his fault. You heard it, First Platoon. If something happens
Absolutely
bad
true.
to you, it's Staff Sergeant Duck's fault. Blame him for everything, even if your striker goes to space. It's
Yeah, even
Staff
when First
Sergeant
Platoon
Duck,
messes up and
Jewish
kills us,
powers,
it's our
even though
fault.
he's not a Jew.
Good lord.
Okay, let's calm down. Let's calm down. But yeah,
I don't know why you went there, Sergeant.
but yeah. So on to the non-official questions. Specialist Corporal, got any questions for the Staff Sergeant?
Are you familiar with Futurama at all?
Very little, yeah.
You had to pick. Would you have one $100 hooker bot or 100 $1 hooker bots? And this is a great question.
I think we'd go with the $100 and get it over and done with faster.
Solid.
So does that mean you lost that short? Huh?
Okay, well, with you being our glorious leader in Second Platoon, well, glorious secondary leader because blame Winters for everything. We can blame both of you equally, right? Yeah. So, with you being in the position you currently are in, do you see yourself ever leaving Second Platoon voluntarily?
That's a very easy question. Hard no. The way that it is at the moment is just everything which I was looking for when I joined the unit. I'm in the position that I want to stay in. I've got people around me that I want to be around me. I have very good chemistry with Winters and everybody in both squads. I'm just having a real good time right now. So if things changed, then maybe it's a different question, but for the current Second Platoon, I can't think of any reason why I would choose to leave it.
Fair enough.
All right, and I guess it's on to my questions then. Staff Sergeant, you said that you like music. All right, what's your most favorite white girl song?
I swear.
Oh god. I don't even. What does that even mean?
You know, the music
Answer the
that
question,
came in
Staff Sergeant.
early 2000s to 2010s, like Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, MC, and so on, and similar artists.
Lives are
Right,
depending
right.
on you.
Yes.
Probably something by Pink.
Based.
Ooh, yeah, that's based. Pink's
But I
great
don't
music.
remember any of the individual songs.
Okay.
I don't know,
Alright.
something about a breakup, so don't worry.
Well, you now have to obviously answer the question about cheese.
Oh, probably paneer is my favorite cheese, actually.
Okay, two good answers.
Okay, and I'm gonna steal Specialist Grigorov's question. If you had to live somewhere outside Britain and or Ireland, the British Isles, where would you live?
So I was looking at Sweden for a while, as being interested in living there, but I think actually, with having so many friends in Denmark now, I would probably end up having to pick Denmark because they have a mutual hatred for each other, and I couldn't do that to my boys.
You're not losing on anything. At max, you're losing on friendship with Nikeus of all people. But yeah, that's a solid answer. Denmark, nice city. It wouldn't be my choice. I would probably be the fucking redneck that would move to Texas.
Bro, I swear, man.
I
Oh my
got
God.
friends in Texas.
Oh my God, everybody's got friends in Texas.
Yeah,
Their
but I've known
family
that-
trees skip a couple branches.
Ace is more of a friend I've been gaming with for about the past 9 years.
Fair.
But yeah, any other question, gentlemen?
Oh, Staff Sergeant, one last one from me, anyways. You live in Britain, and obviously you have a very interesting take on gun culture. The L85 is a weapon that exists, but what is your favorite weapon,
Ooh, very good question.
and why?
So I think mechanically, I think the Australian AUG military variant has got very interesting trigger pull because it's got a progressive fire trigger where if you pull it lightly, it's a single shot, middle, it's burst, and then fully depressing the trigger is full auto.
Yeah, I hate those fucking triggers.
And that keeps
That-
the bullpup heritage in my blood. But the AN-94 from the 80s Soviet bloc, I think, with the
Ooh.
2-round hyperburst, no recoil, has got to be one of the most interesting guns to have been ever made. So that would
That's a
probably be my
solid
bet.
answer.
Now, my inner gun nerd is gonna come up here, and I want to embarrass
Calm
you a
yourself
little
down, Specialist.
bit. I want to just embarrass him a little bit. The AUG select fire for the burst was only on some of the first models. They ditched the burst for only
Because it's fucking shit.
single shot of auto. And the
Nerd.
AN-94, great weapon, but unfortunately, it didn't see any service during Calm Block era because its designation gives it away. 94, adopted the 94.
Ah,
It did start its design creation in like its brainchild ideas started in the Soviet Union, so kind of got it right.
Ooh, I got a
And-
question.
Alright, shoot, Corporal.
So, Staff Sergeant, due to the most recent events that have been plaguing the UK, as of the past couple years, what knife would you have to counter a terrorist attack?
good question.
Lives are
I
depending on
think-
you. Lives
I
are
mean,
depending.
if we're talking medieval warfare, a spear would be my best bet.
But that's for one terrorist. Terrorists move in like
Yeah, they
flocks.
move in packs
They
of
herds.
13 and half. The half being a child.
I
True.
don't know. You get the technique down. You're just stabbing left and right. I think you could do some damage with a spear.
So you're not throwing the spear. You're just
No.
you're keeping your distance away from the knives.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
I think that's a solid answer.
As somebody who practices hammer, I can tell you, for a My man is onto something. Because no trained spear combatant will ever lose in a square one-on-one fight with a knife combatant.
Very true.
There is no way. Because we're not playing Dark Souls. And some might call Hammer not a real combat sport. Let me give you this helmet and whack you over the head with it. Then tell me if it's
I mean,
a combat
no,
sport.
It's a
the
terrorist.
only
9
combat
times out of 10, they're uneducated morons. So
the only combat sport I would call not a proper combat sport would be capoeira, if you know it, gentlemen. It's more of a fucking street dancing than fighting. Fucking
But
hell.
still.
They demand our respect for that, and we give
My-
them none.
So the staff sergeant has proved himself to have a good taste in weapons.
very true.
All right, and last question from me. What do you think about the first British female prime minister, and what would you do if you visited her grave?
Okay.
I think that has got to keep me out of trouble by having a strong no comment on that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a loaded question. Either way you look at it.
All right. If none of you gentlemen has anything else to ask, let's move on to the next segment, and that's a little bit of propagation of the mods that we have. I'll go first, if you don't mind, as the main host. And gentlemen, for my first mod, I have chosen, or rather, I would like to ask you, do you have problem, comrades, with 3rd Infantry Division FGM Javelin launchers, with M3 Moors, suicide drones flying into open hatches of your tanks? And fear not, dear comrades, fear not, for we have created the greatest tank of them all. This tank is the turtle tank. We take spare wood, spare steel, and armor up the tank. Drones never defeat. Unbeatable tank, greatest of them all. But yeah, that's generally intel. As to intelligence, Vandal, Tucci, First Sergeant Garcia, Specialist Gregor, not Gregor, but Gregor. If you're hearing this, if we do get to fight against Russian, wouldn't it make sense that they start using these super advanced tanks?
For purposes of joke, this message is not sponsored by Great Soviet Union.
Yeah. And my
I don't know,
you were
specialist.
insane.
I don't know,
You were
specialist.
insane.
In your personal experience, how well did it operate for you? Like, obviously, you've had to command one of these things.
Well,
In training.
back
Obviously.
in the when I was part of 4th Armored before they got obliterated, turtle tank. You think you use house, confuse enemy. Do they use bunker buster? Do they use anti-tank? But then you realize that both kill your shitty T-72, so it doesn't matter.
True. I think Germany learned their problems. I mean, you can have a really heavily armored tank that doesn't move very fast, and then they don't really work very well.
All jokes aside, if we ever do actually fight Russia, Corps of
Again?
Engineers,
again,
again,
Yeah, bro, that'd be
Corps
fun.
of Engineers, please make composites, make something funny.
come on, yeah, it's not Corps of Engineer. It's a Corps.
Engineer.
But Intel, come on, guys. You're seeing the shit show that's happening in Ukraine. If we, like, next year get to fight full frontal war against Russia, get into the memes. Follow, like, from the second half of the year when, like, we're beating them and we're heavily near Moscow. Start throwing out some meme shit at us, because it's happening every day there. It would be amazing to fight against it.
Damn.
Yeah. For my second mod, I decided to take a bit more famous mod, because I've recently learned not many people know about it. So, Staff Sergeant, you yourself, are you a fan of Halo?
Yeah, played Halo.
Would you
games
like to
for
play
years.
Halo in Arma?
I have been saying ever since the last Christmas Exodus that this Christmas we should be doing Halo operations.
And fear not,
Actually.
there is a combination of 3 mods: Operation Trebuchet First Contact, and Halo precursors. The combination of these 3 mods adds everything from the first Halo game, the Master MCC variant, so the higher resolution shit that 343 Guilty Spark did, all the way to Halo 5, and including also vehicles from Halo 2, Halo Wars 1 and 2. So you got APCs, you got the Scorpions tank, you got everything. Everything's highly modeled. The enemies are pain in the ass to fight because, well, if they're the government, they're shooting plasma that kills us in 2 shots and have shields, but we do not. And it's a hell of a great time to play it.
To correct Ricky here a little, as somebody who unfortunately this was before Staff Sergeant Duck joined us in the 3rd. I actually did during the Christmas Exodus like a constant 24-hour Halo anti-Stasi, and the mods were great. They don't actually cover anything past the timeline of Halo 3 equipment-wise.
Well, they do include the Halo Wars 2 Mastodon APCs.
Those okay. For my friends, they cover before Covenant and right up until the end of Halo 3. It's a great mod, and Halo Wars happens during the events.
Doesn't Halo Wars 2 happen after?
It does, but the mod doesn't include any Halo Wars 2 equipment. Let's not nerd out on this, though. The mod is great, and obviously some people would like to play as super soldiers, but there is just something, and this goes for the 40k mod as well. Some kind
Just
of community change-up.
Fighting the little guy.
Fighting as the little guy against these aliens is great, and I recommend it. It's very fun.
Yep. Some of you may already know, but approximately 4 months ago, I've advertised that 173rd First Lieutenant Porter has did a Halo operation. Some of you already probably seen the video I've edited and recorded and released on our channel. It was great time with a competent Zeus. It's amazing fun game, and little snippets from history. Second RB, a certain person from Second RB, higher ranking NCO, is currently making a sort of short campaign, like 4 or 5 missions, using the Operation Trebuchet mods as a fun op for anybody can join, if any of you want to play. Once they're gonna be announced and the dates, I myself will post them in Looking to Game. So any of y'all who would like to participate, don't forget to go to the role section selection and choose the unit fun ops tag, because that's what I'll be using. Anybody else? Anything on that? Corporal?
No, I like the Halo stuff. I've played those anti-Stasi stuff before, and it's very enjoyable. I think that it would be something we all could enjoy. I think that we should try to do a little bit more of a fun up, just not like late in the year. Like you have one more common to change up the pace of more modern stuff, or
so you want to know a fun fact, Corporal?
Yeah,
Approximately a year ago, I've been fighting that this unit changes mod pack for public server 2, or commonly known as server 4, to have being able to do these kinds of fun ops. Halo, Star Wars, Warhammer, zombies. Last time we did them, a lot of people probably know it because I was the asshole who literally went to everybody asking them, what would you like to play? And then I collected answers from that, chose 3 of the most popular topics, gave them to C-Staff. C-Staff looked them up, put out a vote, Halo 1, but then I was required to make a mod pack for it. I made a mod pack. They made the changes to the mod pack that I made myself, and then it turned out that it was broken because they
Nice.
changed the stuff that I added to it. They added to my stuff extra.
There obviously was a miscommunication during that planning. On the other hand, we did have the change of pace, which was last year's Winter Exodus, where we had the Zombies event, and for those that were there, you might remember me screaming and charging hunters with a shovel. That was fun, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, that was lovely to see.
I think we should definitely give it another shot. I think it would be very enjoyable.
So yeah, Staff Sergeant Duck, as a C staff member, with your permission, I'm gonna go annoy either Captain Tucci or Lieutenant Vandu and ask if it wouldn't be possible to change the mods on server 4 again, have the community vote and see what the people would like. I would gladly build the mod pack again so that it's compatible, as long as nobody changes it up again. And
Yeah.
I would have no problem hosting the missions for it, just because, it's fun to host Halo operations.
If you would like to see this on top of additional votes, make sure to leave us some comments down below.
Fuck you.
Yeah, bro. Like and subscribe, bro.
If you
Guys,
want
wait
to,
until the plugin.
just send something in our Discord, because this is mostly watched by our third ID members. So yeah, communicate there, gentlemen. And communicate. You know what? We should do it the proper style. Send it down your chain of command.
I think you mean up.
Oh, up. Up goes down,
them.
get down
Yeah,
goes up,
yeah,
just
Staff
like
Sergeant,
from
you
Pirates
do
of
it.
the Caribbeans. But yeah, that's all the mods for me. And anybody else who wants to take the next? Grigorov?
Oh. Speaking of the operation that we have...
Could you
during
come a little
Christmas-
bit closer? Not talk from your kitchen?
Bro, he's pooping.
I had to stand up due to some health issues.
Oh,
But
right, fair enough.
Speaking of operation stuff, I would really recommend it, and I'm gonna be putting up a proper request for this, even though it has been denied at least 3 times in the past, about
lucky
a
charm.
melee mod. Because I believe that we should be able to, as great American soldiers, dispense democracy not only at the business end of our rifles, but also be able to liberate people with the butt end of our rifles.
Factual. Very American.
All
I
of the
approve.
hate you were giving the Brits L85, I don't see a fucking bayonet lug nut on the end of on an M4.
They do have them.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do
they're
have
like
them.
twist ones though. They're weird. I think the L85 with the should just standard come with a bayonet on it because it looks better.
Yeah, imagine charging a goddamn Finnish soldier. Imagine charging a retired Sergeant First Class Skovic with an M4 and a bayonet on it.
Exactly. So we should acquire bayonets, and not just bayonets, just be able to bonk people with your buttstock.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see in the unit. I don't know what your guys' opinion is, but I think we can all agree that bonking people is fun.
Yes,
agree. I
both
like
types of
hitting children.
bonkings are fun. If you catch my drift. Come on, no reaction to that special.
Yeah, bro. I'm trying to think of a funny joke, but you got me beat.
Well, look, if you want to do that, use protection, please.
What do you mean protection? But that's gay.
Okay.
Protection
Tough sketch,
between
bro.
men
Anybody
needs to
else
be a
have-
bareback row.
Bro.
Anybody else have any mod suggestions? Maybe our
Corporal
two guests.
Fitzgerald?
Yeah. So the first one I'm gonna suggest, is T-Far Scribbles. Is definitely probably been brought up previously in a different podcast, but I don't care. I have seen actual RTOs in the military within our National Guard and different like active duty members that have like huge cheat sheets of radio frequencies that are given out. And on long range radios, there's usually like scratch pads on the bottom of them for radio frequencies. I can't remember every single person's radio frequency. I know it's in the Warno, but you got all tab and all this other stuff, and it takes too long. So it's just be easier just to be able to set the most important radio frequencies that you need right away and do it that way. Now, granted, you could preset all your channels and be that kind of nerd and mouth breather, but no, especially with the last op that I did participate in. I was trying to get a hold of a specific squad, couldn't find the radio frequency, used the Warno, didn't work because apparently it wasn't the right one. And I think that the scribbles would have been helpful because I can use primaries and kind of write down secondary channels if I need.
Wait, Corporal, you're telling me that as an NCO, as a person in leadership role, you haven't memorized yet all frequencies used by 3rd Infantry Division?
So I have, but I've only memorized the platoon leadership, like trying to get a hold of 1st platoon's leadership, and then nobody responds because they've all been artilleried or dead. And then I'm stuck trying to find the actual radio frequency of the squad, and I'm like, okay, well, there's people walking towards them, or there's tanks moving up. I can't get a hold of them. So it's one of
Okay,
those things that'll
okay.
make things
We're,
easier.
we're gonna do a little bit of teaching. So, squad frequencies for both 1st and 2nd platoon are quite simple. You have the 100s, 10s, and 1s. 100s, 1st platoon, 200, 2nd platoon. 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s. 1st squad, 2nd squad, 3rd squad, 4th squad. And then 1s and 2s are 1s is Alpha Fire Team, 2s Bravo Fire Team. It's simple.
So
It follows the system.
if I may, Sergeant, I will gladly.
No, you may
point out
not.
that
Continue.
I have, as of that incident, I have educated myself properly. But I'm saying for the new recruits that come in, it would be helpful for me, but it'd also be helpful for the new people that come in that don't have armor experience. It might help them out.
I have one more recommendation, Corporal, and
Yeah.
I'll be playing devil's advocate here. You are very correct. Having the tool useful to help out the new recruits is something that we need to work to be better at providing. COE, please update the radio net thing on the map that's on the bottom left of every one of our maps, for it is out of date and doesn't include 2nd platoon.
Factual, 100% completely agree with.
Update that, please. Thank you.
Oh, it in
and
the end
then-
always comes down to Corps of Engineering being noisy. All right.
Well, I'm not going that far. Anyways, my second mod is, I'm not a smoker. I don't smoke, but I think there's just like if you look at like Arnold, I don't know, Chuck Norris, some of these like iconic masculine, burly chested, hairy men, testosterone filled boys that are committing war crimes. They always do it with cigarettes. So I think immersive cigarettes would be awesome because we all could look really stylish while committing war crimes on innocent civilians. And I think that that's a important thing, looking looking cool while doing horrible things. So yeah, that's my thing. Doc, you got any mods?
Yeah, I got a couple. So the mods which I would like to add, the first one is Green Mag, which is a mod that I think would be useful for everybody, but particularly also for the auto riflemen. So for the auto riflemen, they don't really have much in the ways of specialization. And with the Green Mag mod, instead of just repacking mags through the normal ACE thing, you can actually carry individual belts, and then you can link belts together, and you can pack into your magazines specific loads of tracers. So you can have a tracer every 3 rounds or every 5 rounds, and then you can completely customize what your ammunition loads are. And I think it just adds that extra element of utility for the auto rifleman, and for everybody else, you can just carry a little bit more ammo because the ammo is lighter to carry, but then more time consuming to repack. So it's just an extra bit of gear management that would help people out in the field, and I think it's a bit
Keep
more
in mind, Staff
immersive.
Sergeant, we have our own weapons mod that later, Specialist, later. I know you're getting ready for this, but which means Leewell would have to work on making compatible with Green Mag. For now, as far as I know, our XM7, 250, and 338s are not compatible.
As
Speaking
far as
of
I
our,
understand, you can run just if you run it with no compatibility, it defaults all ammunition to 5.56, so it would still work. It would just be a bit wonky. But it's more the idea than necessarily the specific mod itself that I like. Just the ability to repack mags individually with the bullets rather than just ace interacting once and then sitting there not thinking about anything for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever.
I like the idea, and I think you're onto something, because as a fellow Tarkov enjoyer, I also like to be cowering in the corner while I'm repacking my mags. But speaking of our mods, we do have to address the elephant in the room. DOE, our guns do not have shadows, neither does the Tango 6. Please fix.
And
Man,
the
shots
second
fired.
mod, which I would like to recommend, is something called Dynamic Camo System, which basically takes a snapshot of all of the camouflage on your uniform, matches it to all of the camouflage on the background that you're standing near, and then will generate a value from 0 to 1, which the AI will use to see how well concealed you are. So if you match your background colors very well, the AI will find you harder to see and you can sneak around. Obviously, this is more helpful for recon, but for the perfect support by fire ambush positions that I know Third Squad loves to get up to,
Yeah, I just
they
wanted
would
to say, you do realize that
be a
we
lot more
basically
immersive.
use desert camo in fucking forest, right?
Factual.
It just adds that extra element of realism, I think, and that extra element of individual camouflage and thinking about your background, thinking about how you look compared to how the enemy will see you, and I just like the idea of it a lot. Makes you think a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right. Nope. Anything to say, Specialist?
No, I was gonna say, good idea. We should do something, because anything that helps the AI not shoot us through bushes will make me happy.
Yes.
There is also a mod called AI Can't See Through Bushes, but I don't know how good that is. I've never tested.
Yo, don't give Specialist any idea, right, Greg? Grigorovich.
Mm.
Yeah.
My name's already Eastern European enough. You don't have to add the bitch at the end.
But I like it with the H. Not with the H!
Oh, you like the itch? Well, I'm not really a fan.
Alright,
But with that,
but with all that, this has been the 3rd Infantry Division Realism Gaming Podcast. Here with me through these couple minutes have been Staff Sergeant Jordan Duck as man behind the rank, Corporal Brayden Fitzgerald as Soldier of the Quarter, and Specialist Kalin Grigorov, H. And together with me, Sergeant Annie Smiřický, we have been the people you've been listening for these past hour and a half or something. And see you in 3 months, dog-faced soldiers. You're gonna have to bear with me once again.